Friday, I walked around the hotel. I did a little exploring. It's funny. It's really funny walking around the hotel and casino in the morning because there's either people with like children, like in strollers, like moms with like spandex, like that had just worked out or something that really have it together and have their kids in there for some reason. Or it's like people passed out on the slots machines that like look like they've been there for days. Because it's like 9 a.m., right? It's a very interesting contrast of people. But I walked around the hotel, it was nice. I had a meeting with my agents, it was nice. Talked to them about stuff, you know, the huge. And then I went to the convention. I had an interview. I had an interview at the convention with Bloomberg. And so that was my first time going into the convention. I got like walked around into the interview. It was a really quick, easy interview. I can also say this because it's an interview, so it's gonna come out. They asked me a bunch of questions.
Wow.
I didn't know how to answer. Shane, thank you for the 18 months. One of them is they were asking me a bunch about Dan Clancy.
People pug, wow.
They asked me some questions about Dan Clancy, and then they asked me, they were like, so how does your experience... This is crazy. They're like, how is your experience with Dan Clancy compared to your experience with Emmett? And I was like, with who? And she... Because I genuinely didn't know. I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. And I don't know... And she was like, well, that answers that question, thank you. Because they were trying to figure out like how it's been different, you know, between those two CEOs. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah. I mean, in fairness, I started 2019. And so I had no experience whatsoever, like, with Emmett, like, didn't know anything about him. But that was like my genuine answer. I was like, I don't know him. I don't even know who you're talking about. No one else did either. Right, yeah. And then she was like, so you didn't know Emmett? Like, do you know Dan? And I was like, yeah, I'm having breakfast with him tomorrow. And she was like, what? So it was a lot of it was them asking about Dan, because Dan's all over the place, as you guys probably saw at TwitchCon. He's a PR god. He's zipping around. So I had that interview. It was fine. It was chill. I walked around the convention with boyfriend. It was good. Not scary. Let's talk about that. I thought that TwitchCon was gonna be so scary. And I don't know if it's because I have a huge ego or because I'm traumatized by the internet or what. I thought people were gonna be way more aggressive. Like, I thought that I was gonna walk around the convention and be like scared because people were gonna be like, duh, you know? And nobody was like that. They were all like more like nervous, if anything. But yeah, it was not scary. I thought it was gonna be like scary to walk around. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to walk around, and I definitely was, and it was definitely fine. Everybody was good. So I walked around the convention. It was chill. It was easy. And then I think it was Friday morning. I did meet Julian. It was really bad. It was really awkward because okay, let me explain. On NMP, right, NMP was there streaming. So I did meet him that morning. I've watched Julian for years on YouTube. Like I've watched a bunch of his videos. All of us watched Jenna's videos, and so he was in a bunch of those videos, and so I know them from like years back.
Wow.
Right? So it's one of those, like, the way I felt when like Jacksepticeye knew who I was, you know, I was just like, it's just like a crazy starstruck thing. So when I saw Julian in person, I was just like, oh my god. And I kept telling my boyfriend, I was like, I have to say hi, like I have to talk to him, I have to, but I was so nervous. And a couple things. I told him that I loved him, and I didn't mean it like that. And I say that because it's something that I'm really stuck on, but I think the interaction itself wasn't as bad as that makes it seem. Because I wasn't like, I love you. It was like, I went up to him, I was like, hey, I'm a huge fan, like it's so cool to see you here. I love you, I love your dogs, like I love everything you do. So actually that's not that awkward, but after I left, I got really hooked on it and I was like, I told him I loved him. And I told my boyfriend that as we were walking away, I was like, I told him I loved him. And he was like, oh, did you? Yeah, I was like, I'm in love with you. It gets worse though, okay? It gets worse. I don't think he cared that I said that because it wasn't as awkward as it is in my head, the way that I said it. It's way worse than that. I'm a streamer. He doesn't know that I'm a streamer. He thinks I'm like just like a normal, like not a streamer, a fan, a viewer, whatever. And so I was like, have you gone to the convention yet? And he was like, no, I have to go get my badge right now. We get our badges from the same place, right? There's a hospitality suite for the streamers in that hotel. So I knew that I had to go get my badge too, because this was right before I went to do my interview. So he was like, no, I have to go get my badge right now. And I was like, oh, me too. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'm headed that direction too. And he was like, yeah, okay, see you later. And he like ran away because I think he thought I was gonna walk with him because we both had to go that direction. And in my head, I was like, oh, we both have to go to the hospitality suite. So like we'll walk to the hospitality suite. But he thought I was a viewer. So I was like, oh, me too, like we can walk that direction. I didn't say that. I was just like, oh, I gotta go there too. And he's like, okay, bye. And then he like ran away. And then I had to walk like 12, 15 feet behind him all the way to the same place. He didn't know I was walking behind him, so it's fine. All I'm gonna say is my dream is one day we meet through Twitch and I can tell him this story and be like, it wasn't as cringe as you thought. I'm not stalking you, like I'm a streamer too. And then he comes to Alveus. Did he see you again in the suite? I should have made it so that he did, so that it wasn't as cringe, but I was too scared, so I like hid, which made it worse for me, because now he even more thinks that like, I like doubled down on me being a viewer that was like trying to go on a walk with him in the hotel or something. Who is this about? Julian Solomita. I really messed up, and I feel really bad about it. You should have introduced yourself as a conservation streamer? No, dude. No. He doesn't know who I am. He thought I was a viewer. If I was like, hey, I stream on Twitch. I stream this on Twitch. He'd be like, oh, cool. No. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. We went to dinner that night with Peach, Seer, Lud, and Cutie. And then eventually it also became E-Rob, Britt, Nick, and Milena. So it was a what's 5? A quintuple date? What is 5? That's 6. Alright, I give up. Anyway, there were a bunch of people there. It was really nice. It was good. It was a really fancy dinner. It was at the Bellagio. The Bellagio is Box Dude, thank you. It's a hotel and they have crazy fountains. They have fountains that go really high. Like really, really high. So there's water that's going really high. We got dinner. I got a cocktail, but I didn't have time to look at the menu, and so I just pointed to one because I didn't want to hold everybody else up because they already ordered, and I picked a cucumber cocktail. And that was really unfortunate, but I drank the whole thing. Even though it had a literal cucumber on the edge. It was unlucky. It was unlucky. Also, dinner was... Guess how much it was per person? Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I'm hyping it up too much. Guess how much it was per person? We just split it. For like how much it costed everybody. And then divided it. Yeah, it was 150. Those are good guesses. It was 150 per person. Which was a lot. But it was good. It was good food. I got seaweed salad. And it was good. And then... We somehow ended up in... We went to Buddha's suite. Wow. Call me Crispy. Thank you for the prime. Sunny, thank you for gifting. No. I also got something else. Sorry, I didn't just get seaweed salad. No. I got something... I don't remember what it was, but I got something else. Yeah, Buddha had like a crazy suite. And so we went to go to the suite. I didn't know what was going on at all. I just followed everybody pretty much this whole trip. I was just like, all right, wherever you want to go, whatever. We got like led back into the suite by 3, this is not my word for them, it's their words for them, butlers. 3 butlers, and we went into the suite, and it was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. There was like a gym in there, there was a barbershop in there, there was a kitchen, a whole dining table, a pool, like
Primus.
Crispy, thank you for the 15 months. It was a lot. It was scary. It felt like it was a Black Mirror episode. And yes, like a private barbershop. Like there was a bathroom and there was just a barber chair in there. Just one. And like mirrors all around. Cause like they'll come to your room and like give you a haircut or something. I don't know. There was a gym in there. I got in there and I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. I was like, I am not supposed to be here. It felt like a Black Mirror episode. I was scared. And I wanted to leave. And so I took a peach, I stole it. There was a huge fruit bowl, and I was like, let's be honest and talk about food waste here. No one's eating this fruit. It's gonna get thrown away.
Yo.
All this produce is gonna get thrown away. So I took a peach, and I left. But yeah, it was crazy. I did say hi to some people. I said hi to Buddha and Abby. I love them. They're so nice. But yeah, I had to go. So I took a peach and then I left and it was fine. And then I checked the Alveus clips. I saw Winnie sleeping like this. As she does. Cool.